more Pelospia species. This is Succulents, Pelospia Succulents. They're very old plants and they're going to have to be cleaned up for next season. They've reached a size where they may have to be chopped up and rerouted. With all these plants, they do reach what is called an optimum size, where they've reached like maturity, and to get them going again is to cut back the old stems and start them afresh. It might mean removing the individual heads, but they've got to be started again because the woody stems do not allow enough moisture to be sucked up into the plant body, so it would slowly starve. This also applies a bit to these ones. These also need to be sorted out. I've been a bit lazy with these. These are the fenestrarias, which I mentioned early about the window plants, Phanestrines window, and they're very large clumps. There's quite a few species within each tray, but they've come to the size where they're going to have to be taken out, repotted, thinned out, because they have gone rather mad. There's a few more behind the heater at the back. The heater I use, which is set on a thermostat. I don't use a thermostat on the actual heater itself, simply because it starts at the wrong temperature. I want to get down to about freezing. It's no good having it coming in at 40. I'm not a millionaire, and these plants don't need it. They just want to be kept frost free. So I put it through a separate thermostat, which is the thing plugged in. It's actually a Dutch product. It came from some Dutch friends many years ago. Anyhow, we look further back. We have, which I believe to be the largest Gibeum heathii that is in this country. This plant goes back many years. It originally belonged to a Mrs. Stillwell, Muriel Stillwell, who was one of the leading lights in the former Cactus and Succulent Society of Great Britain. She and Arthur Border, unfortunately they are both no longer with us, were regular contributors to their journal, and they helped many people in those days, including me, because I was young then. And that was her plant. It appeared at the Ascot, or not the Ascot, the Windsor Royal Show, and I think the Queen or the Queen Mother actually viewed the plant, so it's got a bit of history behind it. And that is Gibeum heathii. Don't ask me how many heads are there. There's loads. In front of this we have another pan. I'd rather like Titanopsis peculiaris, and there's several plants there. These two have leaves of two leaf forms. They're not difficult, but they do require a lot of light. If they get a lot of light, they'll flower. If not, they won't. That's Titanopsis peculiaris. Coming back to some more trays, just general odds and ends in the trays. Some of these plants we've seen before, some we haven't. I can pick out some, and those long ones are Gibeum shandii. They're known as sharks, as the shark plant. If you look at them, you can imagine the underside of a shark with the mouth. It's not on all of the Gibeums. The name gibbæum, by the way, means humped, or with a lump, humped. That's gibbæum. That's shandii. At the back we've got Argita petrensis, which I think is reclassified as a gibbæum. The plant there is Palaspilus, possibly a Belusii, the one named after Louise Bolus. Further species of gibbæum. These are Gibbæum pilosculum, and they are in bloom. They are in bloom, Gibbæum pilosculums. Beautiful little compact plants. These do not show the shark-like effect, or they're less obvious. There is a very closely related species, which I think is that one. You can only really tell by looking at the skin. This is Cryptopodium. It's got a smooth, the body's smooth, where it's puberulous, as the name suggests. Pubescent means hairy. It's got a very, very short kind of hair. Well, it is hair, but you know, you could only really see it with really close up. I don't think this would do it justice. And this one is Cryptopodium. Some rosette forming plants. Nonanthus lodowicii. They're related to the genus Titanopsis. Here we have another Dinteranthus, another Palaspilus, possibly Logani. And this is a cultivar. This is Nelli, but it's the red one. It is a cultivar. Instead of being green, it is red. A little bit tricky to grow, but not impossible. Above that we have another Argita petrensis. A few more silver skins, Agyroderma. Coming across, we have another Dinteranthus. This also is in bloom. This is Dinteranthus dispar. A very old clump. As I say, in pans they grow much better. If you want to show plants, unfortunately you can't do this, but I don't show plants now. Well, I do, but it's as exhibits in the whole trays. But obviously if you do put plants in shows, they normally have to be in a single pot. One plant, one pot. These are all plants in Nonanthus species. I haven't got many of these. This is Gibbæum album. Very slow grower. Well, it is slow with me. Gibbæum album. And this one forms a natural hybrid with Muria. That was that plant we saw across the other side. It's called Gibbæum murioides. It's a natural hybrid. I haven't got any of them, but this is one of the actual parents of the hybrid with Muria hortensia, which I showed you earlier. In front we have a couple of smaller species of Chirodopsis. Coming further over, which you may think was a Fenestraria, but it's in fact a Frithia. Frithia pulchra. Pulchra means beautiful. Frithia was named after a gentleman. Frithia. Some more conophytums. These used to be under the name ophthalmophyllum. And another Frithia. Frithia were thought to be short-lived plants, so it's always nice to have several of those growing. There is a minor form which is even smaller still. In fact, these one or two of these could well be the minor form. I know that's the minor form there as well. There are so many plants, I just, I can't keep up with it. And so you remember what a fenestraria looks like. We happen to have one. This is a cultivar, I believe. It's not the normal colour. It's a much orangey colour. So it's particularly nice, a nice cultivar. And behind it we have Titanopsis shuneesii. Up here we have badly grown, I will admit. They've been obviously got a little bit too much water, and that's what happens. But next year you'll give them the second chance because you get a new set of leaves. This is now the names have recently changed on this one. I still know it as Plastrus. I think it's Hilmari. It's Hilmari. There's Archeri. Tanquana. I think the name now is Tanquana. So excuse me. My memory is it's not infallible. You have a Titanopsis calcare. Another nice clumping lithops. These tatty plants in the middle are known as monilarias. Monil means a string of pearls or beads. Monilaria, bead-like from this, gets its name because each year's growth adds on like another bead. I don't know if that one's alive. They are funny plants. They tend to grow when they want to grow. This one's a seedling Monilaria. As you see, they have leaves of two types. They have the disc at the base, and they have the two completely divided leaf pairs. This is reminiscent of the Mitrophyllums, some of the Chirodopsis, Conophyllums. There's another Pelospelus. We have a Titanopsis, probably calcare, that group anyhow. Titanopsis calcare in bloom. Another Monilaria. Another Tanquana species. Some more Monilarias. They're alive, but that one at the back there I don't think is. They're very unusual plants, those. By the way of talking about it, related to these, and I haven't got any, is a plant called Diplosoma retroversum, or Morganellia lacofii. They're two plants which, when they are resting, you cannot see the plant. They're under the ground, and when they produce the growing part, it's reminiscent of one of those, but they are very, very difficult. But if you ever get a chance to get the seed, remember the name, it's Morganellia lacofii or Diplosoma retroversum. Very interesting Mesembs. Continuing on the little tour, we have a pan of plants of Gibeum heathii. As you can see, these are a little bit smaller than the big plant I showed early on. They're all individual plants, all ones that are raised from seed, and they're all producing seed capsules. They have bloomed early on, and they're in sort of the semi-resting stage. To the bottom of that we have a pan of lithops. This pan is going to have to be redone during the summertime, as it's getting rather large and they're forming large clumps. A little bit overgrown, but nevertheless they're still fairly hard, but they will need to be repotted into larger pans or more pans, so it reduces the number, so they've got a chance to grow and expand. But they're lovely plants. This one is Lithops orcampii, which is a very, very nice large growing plant. In fact, they're all of that group. I rather like lithops. Here we have some more silver skins, Agyrodermas. Slightly different to the other ones, they're more clustering. They're basically the normal sort of round shape like we have there, but there are other ones where the bodies are a bit elongated, but they're all Agyroderma. They come from the Nersverlact area of South Africa, and in fact where they grow, you could hardly walk across the area without stepping on them. So I'm told. I haven't been over there, but that's what I was told. Coming down, we've got a few sundry conophytums within the ophthalmophyllum group. These plants, unfortunately, I had a plant standing in here, a bamboo, and it dripped stuff on it. It's not mealybugs, or at least I don't think it is. It might be at that. They have been treated. Yes, that could well be a mealybug. Let's give a demonstration. I'm not proud. I would say most people that have these plants do encounter the odd mealybug. And there's a mealybug there. That is a mealybug. They have been treated with a product called Propagating, which I find is very, very good. The insecticides of the past you can no longer get. As many of you out there will probably remember Fowler's mealy destroyer, malathion, Rogor. All these were a little bit naughty to use, and they affected the nervous system, so they were withdrawn. But this has been treated with Propagating. It's a product which is easily obtained at your garden centres. I don't know about America. I don't know what it's called over there, but it's definitely available here. A few more lithops before we wrap this up. Oh, and right on cue, which I didn't realise. See, my stuff is not rehearsed. What you see is virtually what you get. Ultimate bug killer, Propagating. I can recommend that one. I don't have shares in the firm. I wish I did. I think it's a very large company actually. Yes, it's the Bayer Group, the Bayer Crop Science Group, which is a big German concern. So whether it is available in America, I don't know, but it's certainly available here and on the continent. It's called Propagating. The active ingredient, if I can find it, is a name I can't even pronounce. Yep, well, doesn't even say it. It should do. Here we are. That's the name. that's the name you want. That name there, imidacloprid. That's the name you want. If it's got that in it, it will do the job. Anyhow, I'm virtually finished for this little time. I like to add little odds and ends here and there. So, you know, I will keep these on because I know a lot of you out there are interested in the plants as well. I know I've been putting a lot of lamps on, which are interesting, and obviously I've got to keep everyone interested. So this set has been for the people interested in the cacti and the succulents. I'm going to end with two interesting plants. Might have showed it previously, I probably did. This plant is in full active growth. It's called Philobolus. Bolus, the name we've come across before, Louise Bolus. This is Philobolus. May have been changed to the name Sphalmanthus, but as far as I'm concerned, it was Philobolus when I was a kid, and it was Philobolus when I picked this plant up from a nursery in Germany run by Mr. Ubelmann of Ubelmania fame. And there's the other one, which is also in bloom. There we are. They are Sphalmanthus or Philobolus, and resurgens means that it comes up each year, meaning with the set of leaves. A general view of the greenhouse. Don't look at it, it's very untidy at the moment because I've got a lot of summer plunged plants which I overwinter on the base. They're more or less just dug up and plonked on the ground. The plant in the middle there is Aloe marlothii or Aloe ferox. Ferox meaning ferocious. Aloe arborescens, which you see all over the Mediterranean countries, are grown everywhere. And a large plant of Crassula lycopodiodes. I think that's been renamed to Muscopa or some name like that. I don't remember the new names. We've got Senecio articulata, has a horrible smelling flower. Ripsalidopsis cerascula and Ripsalidopsis roseum. Anyhow, I'm going to wind it up now because I bet you're all fast asleep. Any comments, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. Thank you.